Welcome back, everyone. Happy New Year's. This is another episode of the Boys in Motion podcast. We're your hosts, Andrew, Brian, and Tyler, here to break down the tips and strategies you need to excel in endurance sports. This is episode 29, and today we're going to celebrate the best, most epic, and downright hilarious moments of 2024 with the Boys in Motion Award Show. This is a fun recap of our entire year in endurance sports and our community's best moments.
I am so pumped for today's episode because 2024 was a huge year for the Boys in Motion with races, challenges, some freaky activities, and some nice, hilarious fails. And let's be real, who doesn't love a good award show?
This year was really all about celebrating our amazing community. It was great to see everybody pushing past their limits, whether it was racing at the BIM 5K, hitting up some PRs, or just everyday training. It's been so awesome to see the growth and all the connections that BIM athletes have made, and we're excited for next year as well. It looks like it's going to be a big one. But we can't wait to give out some great, well-deserved shout-outs and awards to the incredible people who make the Boys in Motion what it is. Let's get into it. So to kick things off, we have nominees for a number of different awards, 18 in total, and we're going to go through all of those awards and pick the winner out of those nominees. The athletes who were able to qualify for these awards are people who are a part of the Boys in Motion Club on Strava. So if you want to be a part of the awards next year, make sure you join our Strava group. The link will be in the description, or you can just look up Boys in Motion on Strava.
All right, let's kick it off with our first award. We got lots to go through, so let's jump right in. And that is our Iron Will Award. So this is for the biggest endurance achievement by a community member. And let's go through the nominees and just a quick description of that achievement. So the first is none other than John for his 2024 Ironman Maryland finisher. So that's 140.6 kilometers across the swim, bike, and run. Pretty crazy. Number two nominee is
Miles.
Charlie. Oh, Miles. Frig. I got it slipping. That's wild. Frig, even crazy. Really means he deserves a spot in this category. Right. The bike is literally longer than 100 is 180K. That's nice. All right. First slip up, so let's move on to Charlie for his OPP Charity Backyard Ultra, where he completed a total of 100.05 kilometers in 11 hours and 37 minutes, and also the double with Sulphur Springs 2024, where he also did 100K. Our next nominee is Mark for a top 25 at Heck of the North Road Race up in Uxbridge. And last but not least is Kyle for his 2024 Ironman 70.3 Tremblant finisher.
What an
These are nice
amazing list.
nominees. These are great. It's hard to pick. We're already on the first one, and I'm already stressed out on who to pick. But we're gonna have to go straight to the winner here. I have to give this to John with the Ironman Maryland finish. With everything that goes on in his life and everything that he trained for, and beautiful finish, executed that great, and it was just a overall great training block and a great Ironman finish. Got to give it to John for the first award.
Yeah, incredible. The BIM family man, two kids at home, and a wife that also doesn't quit. She's friggin' doing all the endurance stuff as well, marathons, everything around. John really dedicated himself to that first Ironman finish, and yeah, it's great to see him taking the number one spot in the Iron Will Award. So moving on to our second award, it's the Race Day MVP award. This is for the person who brings their best to race day, and the three nominees for this award are Juicy J, Juicy Julie. She competed and finished her first ever 5K this year, And she brings all the best signs to all the races, which is awesome to see. And for the second nominee, we have Pete. My dad, he attended both BIM 5Ks and nailed his first marathon at the age of 62, which is just incredible to see. And he's eyeing around the bay in the next year. And then lastly, we have Kennedy, who ran a half alongside her mum with lots of training together as well. It's just awesome to see these three people giving their best on race day, whether they're supporting or actually competing. But the number one spot for this is Pete for attending both of those BIM 5Ks. That's huge. Big member of the community there.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to post either the video clip or a photo from that his marathon as well, because they're all of us alongside right near the finish. It was exciting to see, and he had a great day that day, so well deserved.
Very true. I love it. We're going to award number 3, all-time high for the person currently peaking in their training relative to themselves. So we'll give a nice honorable mention to none other than Jacob himself, pre-injury. We're going to do like a pre-injury and a post-injury for Jacob. So honorable mention for Jacob. Kennedy, another nominee here, big volume baddie with all her volume. She's always on those runs, morning runs, afternoon runs. It doesn't matter what time of day. She's always running. She's the queen of Fort Erie over there. We got Rascal Reegs, up and up on the training. All I see is her going all the way up, and she's just keeps peaking every week. New PRs, new long runs, new speed workouts. It's amazing to see. And training, I heard her fitness scores reaching 100, so that would be pretty wild. And then we also got Chloe with crazy hours on her feet, and she's just going longer and longer volume as well. So those are 4 good mentions.
Yeah, and I'm excited to announce the number one spot for the all-time high award. And right now, it's Rascal Reegs who takes the crown. Congrats, Rascal. It's huge. The dedication to the training plan is paying off, and yeah, you're certainly the BIM athlete who is peaking the most right now.
On the up and up is a good place to be. And on to our fourth award, which is the Master of Memes. This is a very important award because memes are what get us through it. So, for those funniest Strava posts, we first have our first nominee is Jacob, who is a meme master himself and has great activity titles. Next up is Stefan, who has great memes and activity titles, and apparently, unfortunately, I'm not a part of this chat, but apparently sends great memes in the Ottawa chat. So if I could get an invite to that, that would be great. At least when the hot memes are dropping. And last but not
They
least
call
is
those
they call him what?
they call that group chat the mix. We'll have to get you guys some invite to the mix because those are some nice memes.
That is nice. Or at least share the like the little nuggets of gold from the mix, because if I mean I know I'm not an Ottawa man, so I might not qualify. But
Oh,
last
I
but not
mean, you're a
least,
boy.
that is true, is Rascal Reeves up again. Hot off the up and up. She's also a master of memes and has some great activity captions and little updates on her lack of ankles. So it's always good seeing, her post one of her up posts and it's, oh, I lost my ankles. I'm considering selling my bib. Always great. But to take the cake on this one is Stefan with all of those memes. So now I'm very interested. Tyler has told me that the memes are too hot and that he deserves this award. So congrats, Stefan. You make it all a little easier for all of us who are slogging through these
Yeah,
winter miles.
and in just an honorable post from Stefan recently, he did a treadmill run and posted the funny meme of like a crying man, and it says, "Please, bro, please. The treadmill isn't that bad, bro. Come on, bro. Just run, bro. Please, bro." So it's that kind of stuff that keeps us chuckling along as he continues to up the mileage in his training plan. So wicked win there.
Gotta love it. Keeps the smiles going too, and makes me consider the treadmill. So that's a plus. Number 5, we got the Ultimate Bonk Award. We've got lots of mentions on this one here. Really tough to pick who's the winner of this one, but I'll go through the names anyways. We have an honorable mention with Kyle, an Ottawa man, just down for any long ride and just inevitably gives a nice bonk at the nice end of the long ride. So got to give an honorable mention to Kyle. We got for the nominees Adam Bosco, the part one donut bonk on BIM ride day one. We got our nominee number two, Adam Bosco. Season up after dieting early in the season. You know, riding your bike and dieting doesn't work. We got number three, Adam Bosco, the collapsing bonk on the last ride of the year. That was nice and spooky. So let's. What do you think, guys? What's the best bonk of the year?
I think that Adam, day one of the BIM ride, was a great bonk. It was the ultimate bonk, some might say, because it was a double bonk. Not only was one bonk good, but after refreshing himself with some donuts, he started blasting again and then put himself back into the bonk zone. So, yeah, he is the king of bonks. Huge shout out to Adam's 2024 season, which featured some of the best bonks I've ever seen.
That
And
image
at the
will
very
fully be
least,
engraved in my brain.
it's great. And at the very least, that needs to be his bonk of the year, just so that the world can see that picture of him sitting on that Muskoka chair with the donut. So, great bonk. Would bonk again.
Amazing. I'm going to make sure that that photo is featured on the screen. Okay, now moving on to our sixth award. We're already a third of the way through. So this award is one that I absolutely loved when ChatGPT recommended it to us, which is the Wait, You Did What award. So this is for the craziest, most unexpected endurance stunt attempt of the year. And there are some really great nominees here. So number one, the first nominee is Jansen, who he was debating doing the Toronto waterfront half, and his way of checking if he should do the half was actually to go out and run a PR in the half the literal week before the actual event to see if he could still run that distance. And he ended up blasting off at a sub 5 pace and PR'd and then actually did super well in the event. So a very good nominee there. The second nominee is Chris L, who did an amazing solo endurance ride. He did 82 kilometer solo ride from Ottawa to past Montreal, and it was very much out of the blue based on his training plan. So yeah, incredible. And then lastly, and one we love to laugh about, is Jacob's lunch run, which actually was supposed to be a short run that turned into an impromptu marathon around Toronto. Now, this run is quite interesting because it's wrecked him big time. He seems to be on the injury reserve list a little bit. So they say ER or PR, and this for him was a little bit of both. Now, the winner of this award, Andrew, who is it?
I couldn't think anyone more deserving than Jacob for this award. Absolute insanity. I had been running with him a little bit before that, and he was chatting about his progression of long runs and how the nice slow progression. And I remember that Sunday seeing that upload, and I was convinced it was a bike ride because it was his normal ride loop. But oh no, it was a marathon. And the quote, 7K in, he was just bopping along, planning to do 21, and he's like, I can do a marathon today, and just keeps going. So, Jacob, this award's for you. Love it. But next time, do it a little smarter so you don't get injured. That's my only tip here.
Hey, I
All
mean, he's still
right.
sub four to the marathon. This is real
Oh,
nice.
but actually, Jacob has still never ran a marathon. If you check on Strava,
True.
Jacob has no marathon PRs. He has a 30K PR, so he has something to beat it around the bay. But the marathon time is still wide open. So there's that. But anyways, moving right on to our next, and I mean, we've basically teed ourselves up for this. This is the Injury Reserve MVP award for the person who battled through injuries and just kept going. First, we had some interesting injuries from the BIM squad this year. And first up, maybe most interesting of them all, is our boy who recently got into running, Chris. And the injury? is still a little bit unknown. He's went to the doctor, he's went to physio. They think they're focusing on his hip flexors. They're telling him it's his hip flexors. There's some abdominal injury, but we think it might just be the peen. Overworked peen from too much running, so we don't know. Next up, this might run in the family because the next up is also a Peroshi, and that is Nick Peroshi. And that is during the Toronto half, where he injured his knee from jumping into training too quick, being too excited to run with the boys, but still running through it. Last up, well, I mean, we already talked about this man, the legend himself, Jacob. And that is the knee from overtraining and running that random marathon. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Who takes the cake on this one on the injuries?
I firmly believe that Nick Peroshi is the honorable right winner for the injury reserve MVP. And not only is this because of the injury, but also because of what he's eyeing up for next year. The guy wants to go longer, he wants to dive in more despite battling through this current injury. It seems like he's taken the right amount of time off, so he's managing it well as well. Just a few easy run check-ins here and there. But yes, Nick, congratulations on the win. So the next award, award number 8, the best ghost impersonation. So this is for the person who sort of dropped off of the radar in training, but we want to see back. So the nominees are number 1, Sean Kingston, who got all the gear for the rides. He did a few very freaky rides, really looked like he was on the up and up, but then boom, certain point, I think he started sprinkling in some runs and then disappeared from the endurance games. See ya. The second nominee is Mike Moe, that is. He had a great season of cycling and then just stopped cold turkey as soon as the seasons change. And we want him back. We want to see him on that bike. We want to see him riding because we want that man in the BIM ride. And then last but not least is Miguel V. He had some decent running volume earlier in the year, but it stopped midsummer, and he really hasn't uploaded since, except for one random run in the fall. So to all three of you, this might be a wake-up call. You got to get back on the saddle. But the winner and the person who takes the best ghost impersonation is Mike Moe. We want to see you back on the training block. We've heard some rumblings that you might be looking into an indoor trainer, so we're excited to potentially be riding with you a little bit this winter. But either way, we'll see you when the weather gets better in the spring for some in-person action.
I heard we got a couple spares, so I think we can make that happen with the indoor trainer game. So hopefully to see you soon. Moving on to number 9, I got the community champion I'd like to mention here. This is for the person who has gone above and beyond to support and encourage the boys in motion and the community and everything it has to do with it. So we got nice Chris Peroche, initiator of the Saturday group runs at Corners Run Crew with the boys in Welland. Apparently, that's a really fun time, and I am ticked that I miss it. Also, have to give him a big shout out for being the support crew at the BIM ride. Drove all the way up to give us our bags and a nice in-car domestique for the boys. So that was really well appreciated. We have Chloe for managing Coffee Cruisers and just launched her podcast herself. And Coffee Cruisers is in Fort Erie, right? And so that's a good run club to attend if you're out that way. And we got John, again, nice mention. He's all about the BIM. He's hosted his first Ottawa community BIM 5K. That was a nice teaser for the ones coming in the future, which was a great success. We had over 10 runners at that one. So champion for this one, the community champion, will be Chris Peroshi with an amazing year of just supporting the boys. And I think we gave him the infection, and now he's joining the boys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chris. You're a huge part of the BIM community. And yeah, all the effort that you put in, especially that support crew for the BIM ride, was just amazing. We could not have run that event without you, and that's the reason that you are so well deserving of the community champion award.
Yeah, and just last weekend, Tyler, he helped us out with our big our big Niagara loop. So no matter the occasion, no matter the event, if it has to do with BIM, Chris is always like, sign me up. Love it. Love the support.
Very true.
All right, and on to our next award, and that is the Best Newbie Award for the most impressive newcomer to endurance sports this year in the BIM community that has shown dedication and growth in whichever sport they've chosen. And our first nominee, Nick P, who just this past fall tackled his first half and looking into 2025 is eyeing more and might even want to increase the distance a little bit. Up next is Mustafa, who ran 2,441 kilometers this year, is just an absolute big ultra runner and try guy, training for his first Ironman in Ottawa. And Tyler, what were you saying? How much did he run last year? It was a pretty big jump from
He had about
2023.
400 kilometers.
Yeah, mega increase from pretty casual runner to just popping off random ultras and just crazy long runs. And last but not least is Ian, who this past fall completed his first Couch to 5K program with the goal of running the BIM 5K, accomplished that goal, and I think has caught the endurance bug and has officially given his commitment to run, or sorry, is signed up for the Around the Bay 5K, is committed to also running the BIM Easter 5K and Spring BIM ride. So the bug has been caught and he's moving and grooving, baby. But but Tyler,
That's amazing.
I'll let you give out this award to the very well deserving individual.
I got to give this award out to Mustafa. Just seeing him just grind day in day out all year long is just impressive. Got to give this award to him. He's doing more and more. I think some bits in the summer there he was doing an ultra per weekend, so which is kind of wild. I could barely string along a week of working out, so a couple races back to back to back is just something different. So congrats to Mustafa as the best newbie, and we'll be training together for sure in the upcoming season.
Yeah,
One,
that kind of volume makes him look like a seasoned vet. So
yeah.
just incredible
Uh,
to be really like, yeah, taking 2024 by storm.
That was my comment is with all this volume and seeing his 2025 calendar, you won't be considered a newbie at our next award show, that's for sure.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so moving on to award number 11, which is the best virtual or home race setup. So this is for the most creative or memorable virtual race setup. And the nominees here, first is Mark V. He posted a picture and was chatting just this winter already about his setup for the virtual rides, which is in his garage, a detached garage. He's got the garage door open, and when we had this most recent storm right before Christmas, he actually had to shovel out his way to the pain cave and then had the garage door open and it was like -8. So just very, very freaky. I wonder what his neighbors think of him. They must think he's just about as crazy as all three of us are. Second nominee is Adam. So Adam has a very, very mint home gym setup. He's just getting into the trainer game on the MyWoosh, but also has a nice squat rack with beautiful floors, mirrors, everything. So very mint setup, and you would have seen him last week if you were listening in his question. He was actually there in his home gym setup. And the last nominee is Kyle. So Kyle had posted a picture not too long ago of a dual bike setup at home. He's got two bikes on trainers. He's got the sleeping dog in the corner and a nice big Iron Man poster in the background. So very, very freaky setup there as well. And there is a shout out or a honorable mention to our very own Tyler, who always is posting about his indoor rides in the living room next to Juicy. She's on the couch with a ton of, warm materials because the guy's got the window open, suffering while watching a movie with his partner. That's quite awesome.
It's a date
But
night hack, everybody.
that's it. So, Tyler, who is the winner of the best virtual race setup?
Gotta give this winner to Mark. I just love it. I I know you guys obviously have all been on the trainer. I get so sweaty out on the trainer. I think it's a great idea out in the heart of winter, just setting yourself up basically outside. So it's even freakier. I didn't know that it was detached and he had to I realize what that picture was. He has to make his way to the garage. Even better, he could get some nice instead of precipitation, he gets some nice snow blowing effect in the face while on the trainer. So best setup, I think we'll have to go to Mark. Next up, we're doing the consistency kid. This is obviously for the person with the most consistent training throughout the whole year. We'll give a nice shout out to John L, one of the John L's. We have multiple John L's. Only 1 week all year in 2024 where he had less than 2 hours of activity. So that's a major consistency king there. We have Ross, nonetheless, with, as you guys know from one of our episodes, he is the mile streaker. He's been doing a mile per day for as long as I could remember, as long as I've known him. And then we have Stefan, which is a absolute consistency king also with staying focused on his training plans, huge run volume. He's very specific with his running blocks and closer to 2 kilometers, 2,000 miles of running this year, which is that very nice rounded number of very high volume. So that's amazing. We'll obviously have to give this win to Ross himself with the mile every day for what is it, over 5/7 years here. Got to give it to Ross.
Yeah, that's it. An activity a day certainly earns him this award. That's huge, and congratulations, Ross. So, moving on to number 13, the Volume Villain Award. This is for the person with some of the highest training volume, and we have three great nominees who blew everybody else out of the water in terms of how much time they spend training and working on their fitness. So, nominee number one, Charlie. Charlie, the ultra and tri man, he's putting out huge runs. He completed an Ironman this year. He's got so many hours on the feet and on the treadmill, which is even more impressive. He had only 2 months with under 30 hours of training, and he had some of the highest average training per week throughout 2024. The second nominee is Mustafa, the triathlete and ultra runner. He's got huge, consistent mileage, and his smallest month of the year was still 290 kilometers of distance and 26 hours across three sports. Absolute insanity for that to be your light month. And then lastly, Jimmy Bender, the running man, doing trail runs, organizing runs around Niagara. His time on feet is insane, and his lowest month of volume was still almost 30 hours in August. Now, we do need to announce that the volume villain of 2024 is Charlie. Congratulations. I think there's going to be some people chasing this down next year, but an absolutely immense year of volume. So, congratulations, Charlie.
He's got a crazy year already booked for 2025, so can't wait to see what he does there and following him on that journey too. It's going to be pretty wild. He's already ramping his volume up for early 2025, so stay tuned for more.
Love it. Yeah, Tyler, I think literally someone right in this call, someone that's chasing Charlie after that the Maryland performances. You're chasing him, and I know your number one goal, similar to mine at the BIM 5K with Mark, is just to get that pass. So it's going to be a good 2025.
Touche. That's
And
exactly
moving
it.
on,
Chasing him, that's for sure.
before Tyler thinks about it too much, let's move on to the next award, which is the Unbreakable Award. for the person that just keeps chugging along through all the toughest workouts and accidents, our first nominee, speaking of accidents, is Mike B, Big Mike, for his super strong early season, especially in the BIM ride without having done much training at that point. Crazy pulls, crazy fall, get up and keep going. So if the Peloton is moving, you best believe Mike B's in that Peloton and he is not getting dropped. So super impressive. Next up is Hussein, who even after a crazy mega crash on a 140 kilometer long ride, also got up, kept riding, just an absolute freak. You know, it's okay to pack it in, but these people are like, I'm finishing that long ride so I can upload that activity to Strava. Super impressive. We love to see it. And last up is Adam. We spoke about this in our Bonk Awards. No matter how many times this man bonks, he cannot be stopped. He will bonk, he will keep riding. He will bonk, he'll get up and keep going. So just crazy impressive. But the winner of this award is Hussein for his mega performance after a mega crash on that long ride. So congrats. And hopefully 2025 sees a few less accidents and maybe just big tough workouts. That's my hope anyway.
Tough workouts and big PRs. He's already back at it, and he's a speedy man. So I'm excited to train again with him and see what he could do.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, the next award is for the Freaky Traveler. So this is for the person who traveled and continued to train. Three nominees here are Chris Lill. He did an awesome trip to Moab in early October. It was a 9-day mountain biking trip. He collected a ton of miles and it seemed to have incredible views. So if you're interested in mountain biking, it seems like the dream place to go. Would definitely recommend you reaching out to Chris if that's something you're interested in exploring. The next nominee, and this is almost a meme nominee, it's Pete. So Pete gets this not only because he does a lot of activities while he's out on work trips, sprinkling in the runs whenever he's out around the States or in Canada. You'll see him just popping up in random cities. It's pretty awesome to see. But also some big cycling activity in the Netherlands this fall when he was traveling. But part of the reason he's nominated here is because that also seems to be the majority of his volume since the Ottawa Marathon block. So just shout out to Pete for all of his international and travel activities. It doesn't go unnoticed. And then lastly, Alexandre, he did a week of cycling in France in late July this year. And I want to throw some of the statistics of this amazing week. Not only are the pictures beautiful, but the stats are beautiful as well. In this 1 week of travel, he rode for 814 kilometers across 38, almost 39 hours, and did almost 21,000 meters of elevation gain. So, without a doubt, the winner of the Freaky Traveler Award is Alexandre. Congratulations. That trip looked amazing, and I'm very envious I couldn't join you.
That freaks me out. Yeah, seeing those pictures and those miles just trucking along one day after another. And like we already talked about, that's literally one of my dream vacation rides is doing that. So have to give that to the have to give the Freaky Traveler Award to Alex. So on to 16. We got the Energizer Bunny. This is for the person who can't stop moving, always sharing their activities and motivating others as per usual. We have number one nominee here, Kennedy, often the most active out of all of us, to be honest. 83 activities in the last 4 weeks. So she's still trucking along no matter what the weather is, no matter if this is considered a down season, doesn't care. She's just ripping it up. We have John L, lots of runs and swims, often the top of the activity count leaderboards out of all the boys in motion. Just another freak, absolute loving every minute of it. And we have Jansen with over 140 runs this year and another 160 plus workouts. So just a wild amount of workouts and just keeping active, keeping the boys busy on the feed, just scrolling. Got to give this to Jansen. With the crazy amounts of working out and activities, he's always at the top of the leaderboards in our Boys in Motion group. So congrats.
Yeah, and what I think is most amazing about this award for Jansen is that almost every time he posts a run, he thinks he's fallen off. And he seems to be running basically every other day and in the gym when he's not running. So I think he certainly enjoys the top spot here. I think he is one of those people who's tracking on his Apple Watch his kind of like daily rings, and he's been closing it all year long, which means he's kind of doing activity every single day. So very impressive. Big energizer bunny guy.
The falling off comments always make me giggle. It's just like every other day falling off, and I'm like, what is this guy going on about? Guys never stop moving. But next up is the Always In Award for the BIM community member who always has each other's back, whether it's pacing someone during a race or helping out with training. First up is Big Mike, who's always a great wheel in for training, always says yes when the boys say, we're training on my whoosh this winter and he's on his Peloton, he says, okay, I'll put the Peloton in the garage. I'm buying a trainer. So always just wants to be a part of the Peloton, a part of the boys, just always in, no matter what, no matter how trained or not trained he is for something. Next up is Ross, who is always along his run streak, he's always just supporting all the runner mans, key part of the community, just getting everyone out, moving and grooving. And last up is Kyle, who is in for just absolutely every tough long ride and brick workout. He's just always in. Even if he knows he's going to be dragged through the dirt, he says yes. But for this award, we're giving it to Big Mike, who has just been put through everything, but is always in no matter what, and is always just there to feel a little pain and hurt. So we appreciate you, Mike.
And the Always In award was a tough one to give out. It really was difficult to decide who the ultimate victor is here. I think Mike is the right champion, but big shout out to Ross because he was also in as the first podcast episode guest. So I think that's also a huge shout out. Very neck and neck between those two. Now, on to the last award of the 2024 BIM Awards show. This is the heart of BIM. So this is for the community member who embodies everything Boys in Motion stands for: the passion, the support, the fun, and of course the endurance. The three nominees, and I think this was the hardest one to actually give out. There was a lot of debate on who the winner was. But the first nominee is Mark V. He is at the core, the central node of cycling and what that means for the Boys in Motion. He's getting the mans on the trainer all season long, getting everybody out on long rides in the summer, and was one of the core founding people of the BIM annual ride as well. So he is the cornerstone of the cycling community of BIM. So thank you, Mark. The next nominee is Kennedy B. She is the originator of the big wave of BIM athletes signing up for Around the Bay. We're at over 25 runners now. It's absolutely incredible to see. So like overall, in terms of the amount of people that have been signed up to kind of the BIM way and the BIM motivation, Kennedy is a huge part of that. So thank you, Kennedy. And then last but not least is John L. John, he hosted the first BIM 5K in Ottawa. He had some huge results this year, which motivated everybody. And he's a family man balancing it all, who still puts all his heart and soul into the activities that he's doing. So thank you very much, John. But drum roll, please. And I'm going to add some drum roll to the actual audio right here. So drum roll, please. And the winner of the Heart of BIM Award is Kennedy Thank you so much for the incredible community member that you are. You're a huge part and a central person to everything that makes BIM successful. So thank you, Kennedy.
Just an absolute freaky wave of around the bay signups that started a wave of signing people up that you've probably never even met. So it's going to be a really fun weekend, and it's going to be amazing to see all these people join as part of the Boys in Motion. We'll probably be the biggest group out there. It's going to be real fun.
Yeah, super well deserved, Kennedy. You're also chasing big races, but mostly your focus is really just on that community piece. You're always just wanting to go out with family and friends, which is just awesome, just wanting to chit chat. Corners Run Crew, you love going there too, and just kind of spreading, just infecting people with the endurance bug, which we love to see here at BIM. But that wraps up our 2024 BIM award shows. A ton of great award nominees and recipients, all super well deserved, and we look forward to what comes for BIM 2025. But we are going to wrap it up there. And thanks for tuning in to the first ever Boys in Motion Award Show. It has been an incredible year, and we're incredibly grateful for each and every one of you in the BIM community who is part of this journey. And we couldn't have done it without this amazing community. So thanks for a great 2024.
It's been a slice all. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and join our Strava Club so you could be part of this award show next year. And you could follow us and subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and obviously go on YouTube to follow us on all of our 2025 endurance activity journey.
And although we didn't really get into much advice or tips, we do want to just issue a quick reminder that we're not medical professionals, and the tips and advice that we share are based on our own experiences and research. Always consult with a healthcare provider before making changes to your exercise routine.
Until next time, keep moving, stay motivated, and we'll see you back here in 2025 for an even bigger year on the Boys in Motion.